Hello there, hello there, hello there, you bunch of fucking wrong-uns. How are you all? I'm very well, I thank you for asking. Yes. How are you all? That restream bot's annoying, isn't it? It's like every other fucking comment. Can I ban the restream bot? I don't know if I can. Can I? Ban restream bot. There you go. Get fucked. Fucking restream bot, you prick. I don't know if that now means that my football streams won't have a chat in them or not. I don't fucking know. But either way, that cunt got banned. I'm banning him in YouTube as well. Hide user on this channel, I guess, is the one. There you go. That prick's gone. No problems there. Hello there. 255/ClamH Fandango. How are you, sir? Hitler Cat investigating the stream bed. Is that Hitler Cat? Oh, nice. So for those who don't know, oh hang on, that's not at all good. Why is this happening? YouTube been well, it's not just that they've been resegregated because they're together on the chat, right, on the actual screen. It's just it's very annoying when every other fucking comment is from Stream Wank or whatever. There you go. Oh, hang on. Whoa. Hitler cat, Hitler cat, na 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 Hitler cat. It's a cat that lives by 255. That doesn't actually look at all like Hitler, but 255 thought it looked like Hitler. So we call it Hitler Cat. Even though it probably has a name like, I don't know, Squeaky or something. I don't know. Fucking know. Anyway, yes, thank you to everyone who followed me over to the football stream from earlier. Much love to you. Although what I will say is that on on this account, so on the Kevin Logan account, this is the thumbnail that was automatically chosen, and I look like a weird, dishevelled, grumpy boy, which is not at all my style, as you well know, chat. Look at this. Look at this fucking thing. Jesus Christ. Anyway, go and check out KFL Reacts for more reaction-based content to football and other things. Yes, so that happened. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Hopefully everyone else did. Although I had a lot more fun watching Ireland come back from 2-0 down at home to Hungary. It was amazing. Last minute. And they had a chance to win it as well. Incredible shit. Yes. So, yeah, it's good. You look like what you're seeing disgusts you. Well, to be fair, Marcel, it did. It was a very boring game of football in many respects. Never dishevelled or grumpy. Oh, it's got sincerity come on. I mean, technically I'm not even joking, so I suppose it still counts, really, as sincerity. Just sincerity of a different kind. Anyway, yes, we've got some Britbong stuff first up, because you might as well do that while they're still awake. And then we're going to do some American stuff, because we haven't done American stuff in a little while. We've been very self-indulgent and very Britbongo-centric. And up with this I shall not put. So we're doing some, we're going to have a look at some American nonsense. Not necessarily even very important American nonsense, but American nonsense nonetheless. If you're interested in what we do here, you can, of course, hit the follow button and subscribe. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can give subs to the community. You can do bits messages. 200 bits or more will get you a text-to-speech. You can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below. I don't know why I'm doing this in a slightly sultry way. You can do super chats. $2 or more there. will get me extremely excited, and you'll get a text-to-speech. I am the least sexy person, I swear. Anyway, you can help me out on Patreon or PayPal as well. I've got Discord. Go and check that out, where I post stuff, links to this and the sports channel and all of that jazz. And occasionally I will just at everyone and say penis or something, because it amuses me to slightly distract everyone from around the world. I like to know that on various continents I can waste lots of people's time. That amuses me. So I will occasionally do that. Anyway, you can check me out on the Discord. I've got YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, all that shit. Virtually none of which I ever use. If you're on YouTube, hello, YouTube. Oh, I've got knotty hair. That is, I'm dishevelled. That's the key here. Hello there, YouTube. You can hit the follow button. No, you can't. You can subscribe on YouTube for free. You can thumb the video up. You can hit the bell icon to get notifications, maybe. I don't fucking know. You can do super chats, which I will read out. You can become a member for 99p, and you can give memberships to the community. These are all ways that you can help me to help you to help me to help you in a very chuckle vision kind of way there, which is a reference that probably not many people get, because I imagine the Brits are all gone to bed, although it's not a school night, so who knows. Anyway, talking of Brits who should have gone to fucking school, Reform UK specifically. For a group of people who claim to be patriots, they don't seem to know a lot about the country. This is their version of the national anthem. See if you can spot the problem. We haven't had a queen now for like 3 fucking years. Like, it hasn't been God Save the Queen for 3 fucking years. And yet, the patriots here, the super ooper duper wonderful fucking flag shagging, roundabout painting fucking divorceoids over here, don't seem to quite get that. To be fair, she needs extra saving now. Well, to be honest with you, too late. Too late, really. Like, I'm already annoyed at the song in general, because why would I ask a god I don't believe in to save a monarch that through my taxes I'm already paying through the nose to give world-class protection to? What does he need saving from? His own fucking cholesterol? But at least I know that the words are God Save the King. I would never sing it in a million years, and not in the kind of humorous I would never say thing that I do about a certain other group. I mean, literally, I would never sing it. I think, even if my father were to be no longer with us, if I were to sing that, he would rise from the grave and beat me with a stick. And he's not by his nature a violent or a tempestuous man, but that's just the way it works. Anyway. No, they trans Charles instead. Oh, is that what it is? Well, you know what? It's good to see that Reform have gone woke and are accepting the Queen's new gender. That's beautiful. God, they're a bunch of fucking clowns, these people. Talking of clowns, the Labour Party. Boom. You know what I said, chat? I specifically said when I joined the Green Party that I would be a complete shill and that I would do nothing but defend the Green Party in all circumstances. I said exactly that and not the exact opposite of that. So I'm just going to do that. Now, this knobhead had something to say about the Green Party, so I thought we'd take a look. And then after that, we'll do American stuff, yeah? Yeah? What do you reckon?
I thought we'd have a look at something a bit interesting today, because there's been a lot of...
It's fascinating that you admit that on other days you look at things that you don't find interesting. How terribly boring.
Of people asking, well, what's this election of Zach Polanski mean to, well, the Labour Party? Now, you've seen all that. You've probably seen the channels talking all about that. And that's fine. I today want to have a flip reverse of all that. Because I saw...
You want him to talk about you? You know, that's bold. It's bold. You know what? I like it. I like the ambition. You do you, bowler hat man. You do you.
All this on Conservative Home, and very often, not very often, but very occasionally, Conservative Home can put forward quite an interesting take on what something means to the Conservative Party that is happening in other areas. It's an interesting look, as I've said before, into the Conservative mindset. And they've actually...
Is Zara Sultana doing that? I hope not. Do you have a link for that? I hope Zara isn't doing that. That would be unfortunate.
Put something quite interesting forward. That, as far as they are concerned, the election of Zach Polanski is probably one of the luckiest breaks for them they have ever had in recent times. And honestly, it's not hard to disagree with. You look at, well, we say at the previous, of course, election strategy, Polanski is yet to announce what his new vision.
If indeed his election is such a great thing for the Conservatives, why are the Conservative press so hateful towards him? Surely they would wish to encourage him in continuing to be the veritable gift whose horse they're not looking in the mouth of. That doesn't really work. You get the idea. Surely they would want to sort of, you know, encourage him to continue failing so that they would succeed. It's almost like they're actually quite scared of him because they realise that he is their very worst nightmare. Has Labour pivoted left yet? No, but it will any day now. After about another dozen tacks to the right, it will definitely pivot left and do some socialism. I love George Galloway, but I hate his politics was her line. If she actually said that, that's really fucking dumb. Because George Galloway's a prick. It's not just his politics. On a personal level, he's a bell piece. He should have gone over the full green shirt, just been funnier to be a floating head. That would be good. He is the cat.
For the party is going to be, other than he's announced he's got his own podcast. That's very egotistical, not going to lie.
No, it's about trying to create your own media. It's not egotistical, it's a podcast. Oh, podcast! Oh, podcast friend! Also, since he became leader, he's been campaigning in Wales. Like, so he's done an episode of a podcast and campaigned in Wales because they've got elections for the Senate coming up. The Senate is the Welsh Parliament. So, like, he's doing the job of a leader. Unlike Keir Starmer, who is literally a follower at this point. He's not a leader. He just finds out what the new policy from the Reform Party is, and then he just adopts that as a party, as a policy for himself, and by proxy the country, because he's still technically Prime Minister, even though Nigel Farage clearly is the actual Prime Minister. Cool.
Will this entire run and his term at leadership just be an entire time to improve his own personal
Oil
profile?
like a baby otter.
Who knows?
Oh, I think I know. What in the fuck is this now? 255, why have you done this? Look, I mean, to be fair, of the three of them, he's probably the least offensive. But KDR. But like, he's still like fucking interned the Japanese. He still okayed the building of nuclear weaponry, which were then used. Although technically he was dead by the time that had happened, but you know, it was his vice president that did it. Like, come on now. I mean, it is a cool picture, to be fair, but you know. I had to do something with that picture of your face. Well, thank you. I mean, I think that's a compliment. But, like, I don't know. Would you like to wear my face as a mask, 255? Is that what you're saying now? Because we all know that's where this has been leading all these years. You want to wear me like a suit. And I appreciate that. That's, you know what? I'll take it as a compliment.
Wait and see. But anyway, I think this guy is right. I do think he is right.
Well, thank you to oh my god, Thoe? Is that how you pronounce that? Thorksy? Maybe? I'm going to go with Thoe. Just because it sounds a bit pretentious if I say it that way. Thoe. Or like I'm saying Zoe with a lisp. Anyway, yeah, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. Much love. Ooh, that was quite a nice little note. I haven't sung that well in years. My voice hasn't been that high since I was at school.
I think that a lot of the Greens that have won in previous conservative held areas, I think on Polanski might suddenly find it a bit more difficult, especially for the likes of their two MPs of Ellie Chowles and Adrian. Those two people.
Oh, the briefcases. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, no, that's fine. What about the two that aren't from the countryside? And the many, many more seats that aren't in the countryside? Because this is the thing. Most of the people live in the cities, so most of the seats are in the cities. Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, if you had to target one of those places...
were elected in former conservative areas. Do you think those conservative voters are going to vote for a leader of the Green Party like Polanski? And now, will this move down to, let's say, other rural areas?
He needs to learn the name first. What? Learn the fucking name first. Who? What?
Where Greens have had successes.
Have I gone mad?
Past,
what?
Election strategy that is.
Oh, he got Ellie Chownes' name wrong. What did he say?
Conservative voters are going to vote for a leader of the Green Party like Polanski. And now, will this move down to, let's say, other rural areas where Greens have had successes? Has their past, election strategy that has proved successful in these conservative areas, with Polanski as leader, now potentially switching off from that strategy, actually save the Conservatives in those areas? Let's have a look into this and see what this has to say on that. But before we do get into that, please do, of course, have a look at the like and share button of Drop a New Video, and of course, there's all that one. But anyway, as always, thank you very much to all those people who help add to this, because I think this is quite an interesting perspective to look at it. What does this election of Polanski actually mean for the Conservative point of view. And I think this guy's got a good point. John Oxley here, who wrote this, I think he's got a fair few good points. And
So if he's not using transphobic, turf websites, he's now using conservative home as his sourcing. Cool.
I brought these up previously before.
It's not an issue. It's not an issue.
I think he's very, very right on these. I do agree with some of these points. So, let's kick off. Until recently, the Conservatives had need not have concerned themselves with the outcome of the Green Party leadership election. The news, of course, would have been a footnote, of course, on these pages, a tidbit now for the obsessive to try and keep track of. Yet, in our electoral doldrums, this new, more volatile flow of voters, the position now of the Greens does make a difference to us. More than that, yesterday's election...
I don't think it makes much difference. The Tory party are going to get fucking wiped out. It doesn't matter. Their big challenges were not going to be the Green Party. It was going to be Reform. Almost exclusively, really. Like, in theory, it could save the Tory party 5 seats. But Reform are going to take 100 seats off them, so it won't make any fucking difference. Literally, it's not an issue. It's not an issue. The issue is that it is not. Issue not it is. Oh god, I've turned into Steve McLaren. Which is a joke you would get if you'd followed me on the football channel. Which you should do.
Stop it. Get some help.
That's fair call, Michael. Actually, that's fair call. Yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Reeb? Mrs. Rebby? I don't know. Can everyone just have really, really easy to pronounce names, please? And not slightly more difficult than that to pronounce names? Can you? Can you do that for me? Thank you for your 4 months of Prime. With love.
Of Zach Polanski may be a rare good break for the Tories. From their roots in the 1970s, the ecology movement, the Greens have had a long grind towards political relevance. The limitations of the first past the post system, of course, held them back, with their European cousins gained ground. Now they are a rising force. Last year they picked up 4 MPs, and with Labour faltering, their ambitions are now building. Polanski arrivals, with the exception...
Say my name. Podge O'Gregan. Almost certainly not that, but we'll go with it.
Now of making good on those ambitions. But here's the thing. Polanski is going to change this strategy from that they were building on from that. Polanski is going to change a lot in the Green Party. And as I've said before, a lot of people, I've even seen it said, oh, the Green Party is now a socialist party. But if you ask a lot of Greens, they would never say their party is a socialist party. You know?
I mean, clearly it's quite a socialist party because 80+% of its voters voted for a guy who calls himself a socialist. Now, it's social democracy rather than socialism, but, like, I'm not going to bother splitting that hair. It doesn't matter anymore. The fact is, he calls himself that. And the people voted for him overwhelmingly. They were offered briefcase wanker pretend green politics, and they rejected it very, very soundly.
Now, there's a lot of small C Conservatives in the Green Party that are not necessarily going to be happy with that, the direction that Polanski takes it in. Which way do they lay their votes? Not only that, part of that faction that Polanski might drive away, kind of a lot of big donors on that side of the party. You know?
Well, you should only care about donors. What a fucking self-report on the state the pathetic state. Look at this fucking creature, Jesus Christ. Look, the absolute state of the Labour Party, that all that matters is the donors. We should only care about the donors. Aren't you scared you're going to drive away rich people? They're the only ones that really matter. Fucking Christ. What happened to your soul? Where did it die? Very sad.
There are consequences. Polanski now, with being the sole face, the sole voice of the party, will change a lot of those internal...
Well, no, but it's not the sole face of the party. He's a leader, right? It's still Green Party convention that fucking votes on policy. Like, he's not a dictator. Look, you know, your party only has one leader as well, right? Most political parties only have one leader.
Dynamics. So, like any, of course, minor party, the Greens have now benefited from a strategic ambiguity about what they...
Oh, 255, you make... Oh. It's weird. It's weird that you did that to yourself. It's weird that you've done that to yourself. And I just want any future police officer investigating this to know he did this. I didn't do this. So if he goes missing or something, this isn't my doing. Fucking crikey. That is... that is a lot, 255. That's your own childhood fucking picture. Oh no.
They actually stand for. They have pitched themselves, again, which is true, they've pitched themselves, of course, as a party of opposition to whoever happens to have the upper hand locally. In urban cities, they compete with Labour for left-wing votes, and in the shires and suburbs, they downplay their left-wing economics.
That's right, we have shires here, because we're basically Lord of the Rings, but less cool and more fascist. We've got just as many orcs, though. That's about level. Yeah.
And focus on the NIMBYism.
They're currently painting roundabouts.
And local green spaces. As I've said before, the Greens are quite a NIMBY party. People may disagree with that, but from my own experience up here, I've seen the Greens be quite NIMBY. We've seen stories over the past where they have been, again, quite NIMBY in that as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, it continues. A woolly approach, of course, to party discipline has, of course, encouraged this, rejecting the idea of party whips, and until now, an odd co-leader setup. The party, of course, ran with an outside idea of being all things to all people. And how can you be an all things to all people party with someone like Zach Polanski in?
Oh no, you can't be an all things to all people party when you have a principled leader. Well, that's ultimately why they hate him. It's not even just that they dislike his politics, although they clearly very, very much do dislike his politics. Is that they're aware that he's like a vaguely decent person, and that it just cuts against the grain very, very harshly at Westminster. They can't have that, because anyone who like stands up as a reasonable person, like Jeremy Corbyn or the former Beast of Bolsover, it shows the rest of Westminster up. They stand so starkly in contrast to the easy to buy, rudderless, principleless, ballless individuals who occupy positions of authority at Westminster and in the British kind of establishment more broadly, that they have to be clamped down on, because it sets a bad example from their perspective of like decency. It has to be crushed. Hey, hello, Freems. It's been a long time, friend. How are you, man? I hope you're well. What have you been up to? Do you still stream? I haven't seen you streaming much.
Entire strategy they've had previously is now gone. very, very much so, is now gone on that one. In 2024, this, of course, worked well for them. They increased their vote share and, of course, won.
Oh, you interviewed bands. Oh, that's cool. Nice. How's that going for you?
4 seats. There was, however, a strikingly little about all those seats that hung together. Very true indeed. We've talked about this as well. Brighton Pavilion and, of course, Bristol Central match the very hackneyed stereotypes of Green voters. Affluent.
No, it's going well. Oh, that's awesome. Well, congrats, man. I hope you're doing well. All that shit. Hope things are positive. That's very broad. Yeah, basically, I hope things are going well. Like, what can I fucking say?
Big city social liberals. The other two were far more surprising. This was North Herefordshire and Waveney Valley, I think that's how you say it, that were historically very solidly rural Tory seats. Both,
Right.
however, flipped green. And I keep on saying this again and again. Why are those 2 seats going to be safe at the next election if Zach Polanski is the leader? Especially with that.
They're not, but they weren't going to be anyway. And it's 2 seats. Why bother with those 2 seats when you're giving up on potentially dozens in big cities? Been dabbling with the idea of doing politics once a week. Yeah, if that's cool, if that's something you can handle. Well, not handle, but you know what I mean. Like, if that's not something that's going to like fuck you up or whatever. Because the politics space can be toxic.
Are those people who voted green that time going to be suddenly happy to vote green next time? They might not be. So,
Okay.
each was, of course, driven by local ecological issues, the River Wear and, of course, pylons. Many, of course, general dissatisfaction with, of course, the then government. But it was then facilitated by many conservative-leaning voters being then happy to vote green. These patterns have been repeated at local levels too. Greens have poached some of the most urban Liberal council wards after decades of Labour control. They won against, of course, long-standing Tories.
Politics for dirty punk kids. Fuck yes. Absolutely. Rock on, man. I was a dirty punk kid once. And then I became not that much anymore. I still like the music. I'm just... It's again, it's a toxic space. I'm a dirty punk old man now. Fuck yes. Let's go. You would think he would be happy after their leftward movement. The move to the left. You'd think so. Fuck yes, Frames. That's dope, man.
In places like Suffolk and Surrey. The result now is a confused party, saying different things now in different places to different people. And this is something the Lib Dem...
If this doesn't get better, I'm just going to go over to the American stuff, because he's boring me now.
Also have had to fight as well. Let's not ignore that as well. The Lib Dems have run this strategy for years.
Question. I know this won't happen now, but how would you feel about the Green Party supporting a minority Labour government if that's an election played out? To be honest with you, again, it's partly because it wouldn't happen. Do I still have the hat? I do, and you can pay me to wear the hat if someone specifically requests me to wear the hat for a fee. Then you can. Yeah, I will do that. What was I saying? Yeah. So, in terms of the Green Party supporting the Labour Party, it's not just that hypothetical, as you point out, isn't going to happen, but it's the reasons that it wouldn't happen is the reasons that I couldn't support it, right? If that makes sense. Because in order for the Green Party to be able to, in my eyes, sort of ethically support any kind of Labour Party government, it would involve the removal of basically all of the major players of the Labour Party and replacement with, people who haven't been doing genocide. And then them to stop the genocide, or at least stop our complicity in the genocide, because ultimately it's the American government that gets to fucking decide this shit. But you know, it would need to be, you know, Britain would need to stop, like, you know, engaging in and helping the genocide, and ideally start helping the people being genocided, which would be cool. And then they'd have to reverse a huge number of other policy areas in order to be vaguely compatible with the Green Party. And so all of that is obviously pie in the sky madness, which isn't going to happen because the Labour Party are dog shit. So ultimately, it's that, like I say, that reason, the infeasibility of it ever happening is the reason that I couldn't ever support it, because it would never happen. If that makes any fucking sense. I don't know. Careful now, I'm a Green Party member. Well, I'm a Green Party member as well, thinking Sabercat. Let's not... I'm not saying anything bad, am I? Am I? I don't know.
However, they know when it comes to a general election, they do have to speak with one voice. So, at a general election, they know this is what we are. At a local election, that can be a little bit more woolly, and they are a little bit more woolly at local elections. So it is, what are they going to do now? What is the strategy Polanski's going to...
Nice one, Fogel.
What is he going to adopt? Because so far, we've only heard, oh, we need to be more angry, we need to get out there on more social media.
No, he literally in his election, like, or in his acceptance speech, he mentioned specific areas of policy. So they want to they want to nationalise water and energy. Is one thing that he specifically mentioned. He wants to take on the far right, as opposed to the Labour Party, who are doing the bidding of the far right and trying to appease them and flag shagging.
If he set up his own podcast, I generally have to ask the question, how does this actually promote the Green Party and not Zach Polanski?
Oh, suck a dick. This is madness. Right, you're right, Solly, he is boring. Okay, let's move on to some American shit. And not like the important American shit, like, you know, the fact that Donald Trump is trying to... federalize the police force and, like, basically bring the army into everything. Yeah, that's bad. Or, you know, the general creeping of fascism, or anything like that. No. I want to focus on something entirely different and basically inconsequential by comparison, but still kind of funny and a bit mental. That being the dark money that the Democrats have been paying to shit content creators. Yeah, that's a thing.
Why did you think that this was an important story to write about the dark money that is funding some Democratic influencers?
Sure. So I have reported extensively on influence schemes, like you mentioned, in my best-selling book, not to be the promo girl, but Extremely Online, which is a history of the content creator industry. I write extensively about political influence and just influence schemes generally. I've reported on, I covered the first Trump campaign back in 2016 on the campaign trail. I was in the room at the Hilton the night that he was elected with all of the other right-wing influencers. I was at the Deplorable, their event that they all celebrated. So I've been covering the rise of right-wing influence operations for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I've also covered some left-wing ones. So I covered, for instance, Biden briefing, TikTokers about the war in Ukraine. I've covered...
I'm not sure Biden counts as left-wing, but okay.
The FDA or CDC, I can't remember, the government organization working, in 2021 to push the COVID vaccines with influencers, like all of these different initiatives, like public health initiatives. And I've written a lot about their role in elections. I wrote a lot about, the ways Democrats were leveraging, or really not leveraging very effectively, online influence throughout Kamala Harris's campaign. So this is something that's about, I would say probably 80% of what I do is report on the right and the far right, mm-hmm. But then, I of course cover Democrats too. And this is interesting to me because there's been a lot of money from the donor world flowing into the influencer space. I think finally,
Look, George Soros, if you're out there, mate, give me my fucking check. I've been waiting for that shit for years.
after losing several cycles over, the Democrats have recognized the internet. They're like, wait a minute, who are
Yes.
all these people on? Do we need to go on podcasts? Like, they're starting to realize it. And so these donors are reading these New York Times headlines about groups like Chorus, for instance, which Ken Bensinger announced in the New York Times months ago, and was like, and they're pouring money into these things.
Mhm.
And we have yet to sort of see how these programs are structured, how they play out, you know, who's operating them, who's funding them, etc. Teddy Schleifer has done some great work. Kat at the Washington Post has done some great work. You know, there's many reporters covering this. I know I'm like a lightning rod, so when I cover it, like, there's drama, but like, I am not actually the only one that has even written about these sorts of schemes. But I thought this was a really interesting, I thought this was a really relevant one because it's been a very high, Chorus has been very high profile.
So yeah, this Chorus group are sort of Democratic Party aligned group who've been paying, I think, up to $8,000 a month to some of these influencers, including like Brian Taylor Cohen and David Pakman and stuff. Now, I was reticent to cover this at first, and then something happened. Something very, very cringe happened that made me think that there was probably something more to this story than met the eye at a glance. And I take you to David Pakman's video on this. Now, David Pakman is an experienced journalist of a sort, albeit that he was being paid by the Democratic Party and not telling anybody that. Because that's the problem here. It's not so much that you're taking money, because like, he was already basically a Democratic Party supporter anyway, right? And so was Brian Taylor Cohen and most of these people. It's the fact that you're taking that money and not telling anyone. So like, are you in complete control of your editorial stances, etc.? Like, it's dishonest. It's not Pakman threatening to sue, although he is threatening to sue, but that's neither here nor there, as far as I'm concerned. It's this little, well, I don't even know what to describe it as, just bit of business, bit of nonsense. He's an experienced political operative in America, right? And yet he would dare to say something like this. Let's just listen to this for a second.
Is that other creators, some, although most now are kind of like there's no story here, but some creators in the first 48 hours took the Wired story and expanded it with even more outrageous claims, suggesting that it's APAC or IPAC, I don't even know how it's pronounced, IPAC, that is funding this show or other creators. Of course not.
APAC or IPAC or APAC? IPAC? I don't even know what it is. I've never even mentioned it. It goes to a different school. Motherfucker, you know it's APAC. Like, do you think anyone is convinced by that? Like, I have been convinced the other way by you doing that. I'm now convinced you have been taking dodgy money from God knows how much, God knows what sources. Like, I don't know if he's been taking money directly from APAC, probably not. But that's really dodgy that you would claim not to know what IPAC is. And that's why I'm going to start referring to you as David APAC Man. Because that's basically what you've admitted to being here. Why would you lie about that so obviously? Like, you know exactly what that organisation is. If you just came out and denied it and just said, I've not taken any money from APAC, that's fucking disgusting. And you could point out that that's probably something of an anti-Semitic, like, smear against your name. Right? Saying, oh, he's taking money from APAC because he's a Jew. Like, that's, you know what I mean? There's a nasty insinuation within that. There's an undertone, isn't there? But the thing is, you claiming not to know what APAC is, when, like, every presidential candidate in your lifetime has spoken at APAC. Everyone who wants to run for political office has spoken to AIPAC. Even like Bernie Sanders, who isn't a supporter of Israel, albeit he does sort of weird both sidesy shite, but clearly is not a person who is aligned with AIPAC and its goals, has spoken at AIPAC. Because you sort of have to get on the right side of AIPAC to avoid being like politically fucked over. So of course you know what it is. So the fact that you would claim not to know what it is pretty fucking suspicious, actually. That's sus as fuck. Hello, Sister Rose. Everyone go and follow Sister Rose immediately. Just saying. Careful, as UK slander laws aren't the same as America. Don't want a Lord McAlpine incident. I don't think I've said anything remotely libelous. I've not said that I know that he's taken any money from any organisation. Other than the organisation which he has taken money from, because that's the story, right? He claims that's fine or whatever, but, you know, it's... Yeah. I just think it's very, very fucking suspicious that he would be like, AIPAC? What's this AIPAC you refer to? I've never heard of him. Who is he? Is that AIPAC Shakur? No, that's Richie Torres. So yeah, pretty suspicious shit, really. And we'll get back to David Pakman shortly as well, because I do want to take a look at his video.
Watch this guy Pac-Man, he's good.
Shut the fuck up. Where is it? Where's his video about being red pilled or whatever? Where is it? He hasn't taken it down, has he? Oh no, here we go, right. Say it ain't so. Have I been red pilled? Maybe being outed as a Democratic Party shill was the thing that pushed him over the edge.
Since
Right.
it's launched.
And so it is about this, what they call themselves like a creator incubator program, co-founded by Brian Tyler Cohen, and who is the other person?
There's Stuart Perlmutter, I think, co-founded it. There's a group of them that sort of co-founded it together.
By the way, everyone go and follow Sister Rose on all of the platforms. I might have already said that, I don't know, but hello there, Sister Rose.
Brian
Got
Tyler
it.
Cohen is definitely like the main, he's sort of the public face of a lot of their efforts.
Right. And so what you found out, and I think this has been sort of part of the, some of the influencers who were named or pushing back on, you found out that actually they weren't
the 4-minute
allowed
mark.
to disclose.
David Pakman may sue you for talking about him taking dark money. What?
Let me just play it for you.
Now, maybe the worst part of this is that other creators, some, although most now are kind of like there's no story here, but some creators in the first 48 hours took the Wired story and expanded it with even more outrageous claims, suggesting that it's AIPAC or IPAC. I don't even know how it's pronounced. IPAC, that is funding this show or other creators. Of course, not true.
So yeah, here's the thing. AIPAC was not mentioned in the Wired article, but his fans have for years been wondering if Pakman is taking AIPAC money. AIPAC, of course, is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee.
Is it definitely pronounced that way? Because he wasn't sure. Is it AIPAC or IPAC? Or is it AIPAC? Which is just an American Political Action Committee that is done via Grok.
They represent the interests of Israel in the United States, and they are one of the most influential lobbying groups in the United States. And they are one of the major reasons why the United States continues to fund Israel's genocide against Palestinians. In 2022, AIPAC funded conservative Democrats to defeat progressives who were critical of Israel, which is
What a
why
surprise.
politicians who like to keep their job and their nice houses and their cars generally refuse to admit that there's a genocide happening right in front of our faces. It's not crazy to assume that AIPAC is also playing influencers
Pac.
to deny or downplay the genocide. David
Oi, Pac.
Pacman has spread his own misinformation about the genocide in the past, which closely matches Israeli propaganda. And that, plus his pro-Israel stance in the past, has led his fans, even those on his own subreddit, to deem him David A. Pacman. As far as I know, there is no evidence that shows decisively that David Pacman has taken any money from AIPAC. The thought had never even crossed my own mind until this response video to the Wired article.
I promise you no pre-watch. I didn't even know that Rebecca had made a video on this. See, you had the opposite effect. You wanted to try and distance yourself from AIPAC by pretending you'd never heard of it. Was what all you did was make anyone vaguely, like, with a working brain think, why is he lying about that? That's a fucking weird thing to lie about. Of course you know what that is. Like, you cover American politics. Of course you're aware of this organisation. What? Very strange.
You're telling me a grown man who has been speaking publicly about U.S. politics...
Like, I bet if you go back through his videos, and someone's probably mental enough to do this, you can probably find him referencing AIPAC. Probably not that often, but, like, he probably has mentioned it once or twice.
Every day for the past 2 decades... doesn't know how to pronounce the name of one of the most influential political lobbying groups in the U.S. That seemed very strange to me. And so I did a little searching. I scoured his shitter posts and his subreddit until I found people calling him out for a video he posted in February of 2019. It only took about 10 minutes. In the video, he calls out Representative Ilhan Omar for pointing out that Israel's top lobbying group gives vast amounts of money to politicians in order to further Israel's interests. Let's watch some of it.
In her second tweet, she quotes someone named Batia Ungar Sargon. I don't know who that is.
Sargon?
Would love to know who Ilhan Omar thinks is paying American politicians to be pro-Israel, though I think I can guess. Bad form, Congresswoman. That's the second anti-Semitic trope you've tweeted. And Ilhan Omar quoted that tweet and said, AIPAC.
I've never even heard of it. I don't even know how to... Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, there's no way he's not taking some crazy dark money. Surely. There's no way he's not taking money. Fucking Christ almighty. You fucking bullshitter. You absolute feckless bullshitter. Oh, a load of shit, man.
AIPAC, or IPAC. I don't even know how it's pronounced. AIPAC. AIPAC is a more right-wing group, and Jews in the U.S. are very, very liberal. So, yeah, there are Jews who support AIPAC.
Gee, well, if you know you've said it before on the street, you must know people are going to find these clips. Like, these videos are still up on his channel, right? So, like, come on, man. Why would you lie about that? It's so... I mean, it's a dumb lie to begin with. It's a very, very dumb lie to begin with. But it's especially dumb when the evidence is on your own fucking channel. God damn it. That's wild.
AIPAC, IPAC. I don't even know how it's pronounced. AIPAC, IPAC.
Wow, that's so strange. 6 years ago, David Pacman knew exactly how to pronounce AIPAC and did so several times with no trouble. I wonder what happened in the time since. How could he forget something so
I don't know, man. Millions of dollars or thousands of dollars, whatever, in dark money might do that for you. It has strange effects on people's memories, money, doesn't it? It's amazing what people can remember and not remember when there's money involved.
simple and also so ubiquitous in the last 2 years? Unless he's just pretending to not know how to pronounce it to make it look like he's not even in the same universe as AIPAC. I only say that because, one time my mom found a joint in my coat pocket and asked me about it, and I said, Mary Jo, what? What? Yeah, it didn't work then either. Prior to the Wired article, I had a bit of respect for Pac-Man as a moderate liberal who would occasionally score points in debates.
I was never a massive fan, if I'm honest. His stuff about Bolivia was very weird. Like, you have a weird fascist takeover of Bolivia, and he's like, oh no, this is cool, this is good actually. What? That was just fucking real weird left field stuff. And he has definitely parroted some bullshit, man. He's parroted some weird Hasbro wank. I'm off, sorry, it might be me being 20%, but I'm like, this sounds like a gatekeeper attack, and if he sues people, then so be it. Okay, dude.
With Republicans. After the Wired article, I was a little disappointed that he would feel the need to stoop to accepting dark money without disclosing it to his viewers. After his response to the Wired article, I think he's a giant piece of shit who sits alongside other libel bullies like Uri Geller and Ethan Klein.
Yep.
And to be honest, I now do suspect that he is accepting money from AIPAC, not because he needs the money, but because he's already spreading their talking points, so he may as well cash a check alongside it, right? To be clear, this is entirely my own opinion. I have no evidence to support it, other than this incredibly suspicious video where David Pakman suddenly forgets how to pronounce AIPAC. It's important to remember that it's not corporate money that makes people biased. It's everything. It's life. I don't take any corporate money, and I'm incredibly biased, just like everyone else. I have my...
True. Fucking true.
That much about Chorus, and certainly not about... I mean,
No, so let me clear this up. I think you're getting confused. So
yeah, Rebecca Watson's dope. Everyone should go and follow her. But not like follow her. Like, that's on social media.
One thing that they've done is...
Just to be on the safe side, stalking people is bad. Okay? Although I do give you permission to stalk me. Honestly, I could do with the company.
Very successfully is try to conflate Chorus, which is always...
I'll invite you. You can stand outside in the bushes, but I'll just invite you in for a cup of tea. We'll have a chat with you. We could probably get on, you know.
Read about their launch in the New York Times. I've also done public reporting on Chorus. I wrote another story about them a couple months ago. Chorus has never been a secret. This funding scheme was not reported. And their ties to...
Oh, thank you, Ira Historian, by the way, for gifting a sub to Frames. Much love to you both.
1630 Fund, this very, very big liberal dark money group, was never reported. Right. So when these influencers say, well, I've always been able... Look, here I am on the Chorus website. Yeah, no one's disputing that your affiliation with Chorus wasn't public, but you accepting, up to $8,000 a month, that is what was not disclosed. And you signing a contract that has various clauses in it, that was not reported on before. And so what they're doing is they're getting online and they're sort of trying to conflate that so that people who don't really know and probably didn't read the article are seeing this and they're like, well, I thought this was always public.
Right.
Not the part that we reported. If it was public, it wouldn't be news. And I actually thought that they would. I'm shocked to this day that they didn't circumvent my story and kill my story by just, when I reached out to comment weeks ago, they could have just called up the Washington Post and done a promotional type piece like, we're excited to announce our first class of funding. You know what I mean? That's what I thought would happen. And they
That
didn't.
they would say that they would sort of embrace, like, hey, we're funded by the 1630 fund. Yes, it's a dark money group. So
No, what I thought that they would do is call up like Washington Post or something else. And
But that's the thing, it doesn't even have to be a dark money group, because, like, if he just comes out and says, you know, I've been affiliated with this group and, you know, they pay me, but, like, I've still got control, I've still got editorial control, that's fine. Like, I've got no problem with, you know, the getting the bag, so to speak. Yeah, everyone got to get paid. Hint, hint, chat. Just saying. Haven't heard any notifications in the last few minutes. Just saying, lads. You know, come on now. No, I'm only joking. Yeah, everyone has to get fucking paid at some point, right? So I've got no problem with it taking money. Especially because, like I say, he and Brian Taylor Cohen and all these fucking people were basically Democratic Party shills for free. So they might as well cash a check, right? It's whether they had editorial policy control over, like, the positions he took. Still skinty. I'm only joking. I mean, if people want to give money, they absolutely can. But when I do that, like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing, I'm only joking. The fact that anyone's here, I'm enormously grateful for. The fact that anyone wants to listen to this dickhead ramble on for ages is a beautiful thing. Thank you. What you can do, even if you've got no money, is go over to my sports channels and subscribe there too. That is a thing you can do. That's free. Just saying. Even if you're not interested in it, it helps in the algorithm.
Oiled like a baby otter.
Indeed. Oh, hang on. We'll turn the alert box off for a second. We don't need to hear that one clip played a dozen times. Thank you to iPhone. iPhone. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know how to pronounce it. What a lovely unexpected joke that was. Anyway, thank you everybody. Thank you for 10 gifted memberships over on the YouTubes. Much love to you.
be like, hey, look, we have this amazing new funding scheme for creators. Oh yeah, 1630 fund. Yes, it's maybe a line at the end about the dark money, but don't pay attention to that. What's really amazing is with a bunch of promotional quotes and materials and stuff. Like they could have preempted my story and done that. But instead, they went.
Where does one find these sports channels? That is a good question. I should have those links to hand, shouldn't I? I will go and find them. They are in the. Oh no, there you go. Wayward's way ahead of me. But I didn't know if they were like they could have just gone to the toilet or something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, there they are. You can go and. That's the YouTube one. And the Twitch one we're talking about. Yeah. Yes. I have subbed to the sports channels. Well, thank you, Main Captain. And I'll probably do something on there tomorrow. Actually, who's playing? I might as well check whilst I'm awake. There'll be one of the big countries will be playing, won't they? What have we got? Sunday. Lithuania, Netherlands could be interesting. Because that Dutch team is a bit hit and miss. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, I might do the Netherlands. I don't know. Or I might just not bother. I might just fucking... No, I won't say that. It's terms of service.
Went this route where like their creators are instead just like lying, smearing me, calling like fake news, and really doing actually the MAGA playbook to discredit media, which is terrifying. And I've written before about how sort of Democrats have embraced this anti-media, anti-journalistic playbook, you know, in previous.
I do want to talk about the reaction because I think it's very telling and important. But just tell me about the 1630 fund from what you understand. which is the fund that is backing Chorus.
So so in the article, or sorry, in the contracts, they call Chorus a project of the 1630 Fund. They have this fiscal relationship. The 1630 Fund is a very well-known group that you can go read tons about. It really became quite large in the wake of Citizens United, as a lot of these big dark money groups is. And dark money just means like there's not a lot of disclosure, so we don't know like. There's people that give millions of dollars to these groups. We don't know who they are. We don't know what their motivations are. There's just not transparency. So overall, Democrats have always actually traditionally said that these...
Honestly, Citizens United could be very much the thing that ends American democracy. Like, for reals.
These groups are a bad thing because they overwhelmingly help the right. Like the right, the Koch network and all that. Like they traffic in dark money all the time. 1630 Fund sort of emerged as a liberal response to that, and they've given lots of money. I think it was according to Politico, it was like 400 million they distributed in 2020. They've really gotten a lot of power since Trump's first term.
Almost as like in a reaction to Citizens United, but not trying to overturn
Frantifa,
Citizens United, but
yes.
use the very methods that the right does, which is dark money groups, to kind of fight fire with fire, right? To do the exact same thing. And
on a smaller scale, of course, because the right, it's nothing compared to what the right has, but yes.
Yes. And so, you know, I think there's a lot of questions I have, but I do think that maybe let's just get out.
Honestly,
like,
Fran and her partner, Bad Hasbro, are like the power couple. They are the power couple of the left for me. They're awesome. You should go and check out both of those things.
You've heard like, oh, this story wasn't fact checked. This is wrong. What was the fact checking process for your Wired piece? And I know there have not been corrections issued.
No, there are no corrections on the story. I know. I love this idea that Wired is just like my personal blog that I just publish on. This story went through the same editorial review that Wired is known for. It had many different editors looking.
No, definitely not Crystal Ball, who sat there for years as Saga Andretti spewed far-right bullshit and just went, oh, I'm not sure about that. Anyway, but the Democrats are bad, or whatever, it's just... She's not on the left.
At it. It went through legal review. It went through, everything. Every fact is sort of substantiated by reporting material. We don't just have the contracts, like we mentioned this in the story, but this is backed up by Zoom call recordings, text messages, emails, like internal emails, messages where the creators are themselves discussing the nature of the contract with each other, letters that they sent to the company. Like we have a lot. And so we gather all that reporting material and put together a story. Now, I think a lot of people, especially the young ones, I'm so old, but on TikTok, like they're used to this like receipts, like drama tube culture. And they're like, post the receipts, like post the Zoom call, post the text messages, post the, contracts. We can't do that without revealing our sources, and that would be horrible and detrimental, and we would never do that. So, when journalism outlets, and I think this is a huge problem that we're seeing, where people don't trust journalism outlets because they don't trust the reporters to have verified sources, right? And so they think,
255, you probably could find me if you wanted to. But maybe you don't really want it. Maybe you're just not hungry enough for it. Skill issue, bitch.
Well,
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Thank you, Gennaro. Thank you, Rachel. He says, Pac-Man and I grew up in the same area. He's become a kind of hometown hero of local progressive media and politics, so I have to hold my tongue on him IRL. Where is that, if you don't mind you doxing your city? Because I don't know where he's from. He doesn't have a particularly strong regional accent, so it's difficult to... I don't think he's southern. I don't get that impression from him. I'll be honest with you, coastal elite is what I'm thinking. But I don't know.
Thing to hide. What we have said from the jump is that we would love for these creators, the small parts of the contract that the creators have posted have actually validated our reporting, but we don't know if the contracts are watermarked by spacing. They have identifying info in them in some cases, so we can't.
And people were getting, were getting different.
Northampton, Massachusetts. Oh, okay, cool. Well, Argentina is very southern. Well, he is of Argentinian heritage, certainly, yes. And that is very far south. That's like, the south bit is Penguin South, you know? But unless you sound like you're from Boston, I'm not picking up a mass accent from him. But God bless him. Well, no, God bless Massachusetts, not specifically him.
Some people were getting 8,000 a month, and some people were definitely not getting 8,000 a month.
Right.
I'm sure.
There's different tiers, although I think there's commonality. We do have several contracts from several tiers, but yeah, it's just, you know, we can't post our source material, guys. That's unfortunately not like how journalism is. But I would encourage these creators to post it if they want to really refute it. Then I encourage them to, you know, post whatever they would like.
So the question
They're
around
not going
chorus
to,
is,
obviously.
yes, some people were very open about it. I've talked to people who were part of the program.
Open about chorus.
Yes.
They were not open about this program, which has never been reported on.
So the actual, like, the culling of the 90 influencers, interesting. I've
90? Do we know the full 90? Because I didn't even know there were that many fucking influencers. It doesn't take much to be an influencer. Am I an influencer? I hope not. Oh, I don't like that.
That it was to protect the identity of some of the people if they were like creators in red states. Let's put that aside.
What to protect the identity? Like, the point is, you're taking undisclosed political money.
Now, here's my question: is did they know? Because if you're participating in this program, were the creators told, here's where we get our funding?
So in the contract, it mentions like the funding, you know, stuff. And actually, there's one creator who's been on TikTok recently and which I didn't, you know, he's not my source. I know everybody is sort of saying this, that he's my source and everything. He actually has some sort of level of security clearance, and he received this offer. And he's been on TikTok talking about that he had a lawyer review it. And these lawyers have, you know, a lot of these influencers generally have lawyers and agents and managers and stuff. But
255, you are very sweet, but that is terrifying to think. If I have influenced your heart at all, I have had a worse impact upon your ventricles than cholesterol. May God have mercy on you all.
He was saying that he couldn't accept the contract because with security clearance, you don't know the people. Like with this funding structure, you didn't know who's funding you, and so he could potentially lose his security clearance because what if it's some foreign actor? What if it's whatever? You know, I don't know if it would be a foreign actor.
So that's why they didn't accept.
Yeah, imagine that, Tim Pool. Imagine someone did some research and found out, oh, this could be dodgy foreign money. I don't know, and therefore they didn't take the money because they have some semblance of scruple and, you know, they care about these things rather than just going, it's weird that they're paying me in rubles. Who knows where it's coming from? Das Vadanya, you know?
Except.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's because there wasn't enough transparency around that. And so, you know, do I think some creators honestly just read the contract and didn't sign it very much? Potentially. But what I would say to those creators is that you knew that you were accepting money, and you knew that that money was a politically affiliated money, which you didn't disclose. And I think anytime you have influencers accepting money,
Michael Brooks as well, that's
no matter
cool.
what, it's bad. And anytime you have influencers accepting money for some political purposes, and you're also not disclosing that money, I think. Isn't
Sam Cedar also Boston as well? Is Boston's just like creating spores of like liberal leftist media? It's a commie hellhole.
I think that that's a huge disservice, especially when you're a content creator that's positioning yourself as a news source or a journalist online. Because I will tell you, as a journalist, you have to disclose your funding. Otherwise, imagine I'm taking tens of thousands of dollars from some political group. People have the right to know that. I can claim all day, okay, it doesn't affect my content. I would say this stuff anyway.
Oh, Sam is from Worcester. Okay, well, the fact that they pronounce it Worcester is enough for me. That's Boston. It's fine. Boston is not all of Mass. Yes, it is. Let's not be silly. Yes, it is. Yeah, it absolutely is. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying something that is both culturally and geographically totally incorrect. But so what?
The public should know that, again, we want more transparency in our political media ecosystem.
And I think this is sort of where
But like,
there's a couple of broader
regardless,
themes
I think we can all agree, go Sox.
that your article really touches on, and the discussions that it has kicked off are an example of the fact that we actually need to be having these conversations. And I think one of them is this line between what is an influencer, right?
All of England is London. Well, all of our wealth is in London. That is certainly the case. Like, yeah. All of England's money is in London. That is true.
Question of like, and you as someone who's written about it, it's like, it's very, I'm assuming, nebulous, but that I think that, you know, I would not call myself a journalist personally. I have been a journalist before. I'm more of a correspondent. I'm more of like a producer. And certainly...
I'm a waste man. That's a very British expression.
A podcast host and a comedian. I try to be accurate. I am upfront, but I wouldn't call myself a journalist, and I definitely wouldn't call myself...
I'm a slop tuber.
...of an influencer, but I think we are also in this age where those things are collapsing. And so what's interesting is I would also not call an influencer. However, you are someone with an online platform that's huge, and you've got a growing YouTube channel, and you know, and so you have
I started as a I also started independent blogging.
Yeah.
And I've written so...
Okay, anyway, you get the idea, right? So, David Pakman is super butthurt about all of this. He's threatening to sue loads of people. He claims not to know what APAC is. Mental.
Well, I've gotten dozens of emails from people.
So, oh no, have I been red-pilled? Question mark?
In my audience sort of jokingly asking, David, are you getting red-pilled? Is this your political awakening? Are you going to pull a Dave Rubin or a Tim Pool or an Anna Kasparian? Is this your moment to go from left to right? So let's talk about that.
Were you ever really left as such? I don't know.
Am I getting red-pilled? Now, if you haven't heard this word, the term red-pilled comes back to The Matrix, the film The Matrix, which now must be over 20 years old, right? I'm very old. I don't know. It's an old movie at this point. And taking the red pill means you're waking up to the real truth. It's a harsh truth. It's a difficult truth, but you're waking up to it. Now, red-pilled in internet slang has sort of become a paraphrase for adopting right-wing or reactionary beliefs. I've been red-pilled. I'm rejecting progressivism.
Which is so weird because it was written by two progressive trans women about their experiences. But, you know.
I'm going to the right. And it sort of means like you're selling out or you've become a reactionary. That
I don't know. I could probably look it up. But the fantastic interaction between, I forget who it was, and, oh God, what's her name? The Trump's daughter, the one that was in the cabinet for no fucking reason. And they were saying like, oh, I've been red-pilled and I've been red-pilled. And one of the is it Wachowski sisters or whatever they're called? I don't know. Apologies to them. Basically told them to go fuck themselves. The actual creator of the red pill as a thing told them to go fuck themselves, and that's beautiful. Ivanka's the young daughter, isn't it? Ivana was the mom? One of the moms? I don't know. One of the ones he cheated on, obviously.
sort of thing. Now, why would I be getting red-pilled right now? Well, some have accused me of selling out, being a puppet for the DNC, taking dark money to secretly push a neoliberal psyop agenda. And so the joke is, and maybe it's not as much of a joke.
Well, no, again, this is the thing, and I'll point this out. You don't have to be doing far-right agitprop in order to be of use to right-wing political machinations. Anna Kasparian is not really going to go like full far-right. She's not going to be like a neo-Nazi. But the right-wing don't need her to be. What they need her to be is someone with plausible leftist credentials that they can purchase, which they absolutely have, and then use that to try and drag vaguely liberal people further to the right on issues where they can be brought over in that way, with things like homelessness or immigration or whatever. And so it's about a kind of playing the percentages game, right? Of just shifting the dial a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, because they can pour as much money as they like into funding right-wing groups, but those votes are already basically there. So they don't need Nick Fuentes to continue to be Nick Fuentes, because the people who like Nick Fuentes are already going to like that shit. So what they need is people vaguely on the left or liberals or whatever to come over a bit to their side, just a bit, and that shifts the Overton window. It shifts the electoral mathematics in their favour, which is what they're trying to do. They ultimately, their money is about trying to win elections so that they continue to have massive tax cuts for the rich and ever increasing authoritarian and financial control of everything. So they don't need you to be a right-winger. What they need you to be is, at best, quiet on Gaza, and occasionally speak up and say, oh, actually, no, Israel didn't do nothing wrong. That's all they need you to do. And I think they'll happily pay $8,000 a month to get that kind of bullshit into the ears of liberals, because they realise they're losing the fight. Look, we know that Israel has paid hundreds of millions of dollars into various social media channels in order to try and, change the narrative. They gave, 50-something million, I think it was, to Google to try and change the algorithm to be more favourable to pro-Israeli stories. We know that took place. So why would they not be above using their operatives, their proxies, in APAC or IPAC or EPAC or BPAC or CPAC or whatever the fuck they're called this week? Because I don't know, I've never heard of them. To fund liberal dickheads to, like I say, at the very least, stay quiet about it. Honestly, if they can just get some of the big liberal channels to just ignore it or downplay the severity of the Holocaust that's taking place, again, it just shifts the narrative a little bit, and that for them is enough. That's worth the investment, potentially. They certainly believe it to be the case. So you straw-manning this like, oh, I'm not going to go far right. Of course you're not. You know which side your bread is buttered at this point. You couldn't really go far right. They wouldn't trust you. But what you can do is pull liberals on the issue of, say, Israel or whatever, over a little bit. Or at least stop them moving as far away, maybe. Yeah, to launder far right-wing talking points, yeah.
Okay, as
like literally, he was out there in the early days of this recent onslaught, post October the 7th, 2023, when history started, if you remember. Going on about, do you remember the nonsense of like, oh, Hamas bombed their own hospital? He was putting that shit out there. Fucking crazy. Like, that makes you suspicious of, like maybe he is taking fucking APAC money. Or not necessarily APAC money as in directly from that organisation, but, you know, it doesn't have to come directly from the organisation to be given under the understanding that you're going to be sort of, laundering those positions. Yeah.
To others as it is to me, the idea would be, well, given that that's happening, I must now start screaming about soy in the water supply and posting gym selfies and Jordan Peterson quotes and going hardcore right wing. So let me break this down and sort of assuage fears.
Does anyone still do the Jordan Peterson quote bit? Isn't he like cringe now, I think?
The last week has really been something. It has been eye-opening. I don't know that red-pilled is the term that I would use, but the last week has been something. I was named in this Wired article with a bunch of misleading claims about a group called Chorus, which is a nonprofit that supports and incubates independent creators. And suddenly...
Incubates. Oh, no. Oh, I don't like that word. What a dweeb.
There's a slice of people out there, I don't even say my audience, but there's a slice of people out there acting like I'm getting marching orders from the DNC and that the Benjamin Netanyahus of the world have become my handlers. The worst part, and I'll be honest about this, and I have been, the worst part is the accusations are coming not from the right, but they're coming from the left. They're coming from...
Yeah, because you're taking dark money. The right wing love when people take dark money. They're all about the dark money. They've been doing it for fucking years. They were probably doing it before Citizens United, but especially afterwards. We've seen the way that the entirety of like the Daily Wire and the Blaze and all of this shit has been getting dark money. Huge amounts of it. Do you think fucking someone as pathetic as Ben Shabibo is organically popular? No. He's the most astroturfed wank that's ever existed. So the right wing, of course, why would they be criticising you? They love it when people take dark money. It's because the left have a shred of ethics to us. That we don't like financial corruption. That's a thing we dislike, in fact. And so the fact that you've been, according to this article, doing some skeezy shit, of course you're going to get criticised from the left. Who the fuck else is going to do it? Like, the right will shout slurs at you, and I'm sure they do, but the left will actually criticise you for the things that matter. Like the fact that you're a skeezy motherfucker.
What I described yesterday as the purity test accelerationist left. They took a headline, they didn't investigate, and they said, that's it, we're done with David Pakman. Comments flooded, 6,000, actually now 8,000 YouTube unsubscribes.
LOL.
Not because I said anything right-wing, not because I'm supporting...
You have said things that are right-wing. Now, I don't know if you're being paid to say those right-wing things, or whether you're just a bit of a twat. But you did support the Bolivian coup. You have promoted Hasbro talking points. You have been, other than that, eerily quiet about Israel-Palestine. Like, if you aren't being paid by, let's say, the Democratic Party or its operatives in order to push the thing that they want you to push, or indeed not push the thing that they don't want you to push, you're doing a very bad job of convincing people that that's the case. Because you're doing exactly the thing that I would expect a Democratic Party shill being paid to do. So it could just be that you appear to be a fucking shill and that the money is incidental.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
You know what, Gennaro? You've never been more correct, my friend. Never been more correct in your life. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's shit. This occasion, it would appear to be shit. Thank you, James Holmes, who says, Rats update? Question mark. Mutated into super rats yet? No, they have not mutated into super rats. They are, it would appear they have plateaued in size. I don't know if they'll develop any further capabilities and skills. Their language skills are superb. Honestly, they speak far better English than the natives. The humans, that is, of course, who are indecipherable, largely. Whereas the rats have very good diction. And I did just say the word dick with inside that word, so, you know. I've been distracted by Gennaro Gattuso yet again, and I apologise for nothing.
Any right-wing cause, not because I've changed my views on policy, because I'm participating in the very infrastructure that I've been calling for years, which is a more...
The Rats were playing at Villa Park, Birmingham. Which you could have seen me watching on my sports channels. What a fucking segue. Everyone go check out my sports channels. KFL Reacts. Ka-cha! Oh, hang on.
Organized left that supports creators. So, did I have the thought, if this is how I'm going to be treated by my own side, what the hell am I doing here?
It's not your side, though. This is the thing. You aren't really of the left. You're a Democratic Party man. You're a centroid. You're a briefcase. Because you'll notice he didn't say I was being criticised by my own side, I was being criticised by the left. So it was coming from the left to him in the middle. I've always wondered how I understood you. I thought you were a Brummy. Well, this is the thing. I learned to speak human as well. From the rats. Back when they were little rats. They are now much larger. And as I have spiritually grown, they have physically grown.
But if that's your concern, I'll just tell you very clearly. Just because a faction of the left has become a purity testing clown show doesn't...
It's purity testing to want people to not be paid shills now. A purity testing clown show. Get fucked, my man. Honestly. You deserve to be fucking cancelled or whatever. It's not purity testing. You're out here defending genocidal bullshit. Fuck you. It's not fucking purity testing. It's basic decency. Fucking Christ almighty. Why have you got to purity test me about whether or not I'm actively supporting genocide or not? Good night, James Holmes. Thank you for stopping by and all of that jazz. Is that a furry emote? Is that a furry emote in chat? Is that what I'm seeing? Hype. Fail. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. How can I make ethnic cleansing about me? True!
doesn't mean I'm suddenly going to believe...
Yeah, technically I do have kind of furry emotes too.
Trickle-down economics works, or banning books is good, or Viktor Orban is an interesting leader to pay attention.
Stiff dick of poop.
I am still a social democrat.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thank you, Wayward Historian, for gifting a sub to Sister Rose. All the cool people tonight. All the cool people.
I still want a stronger social safety net. I want climate action. I want to support labor, civil...
So, like, I'm down with free healthcare, but also genocide. Why are you angry with me? I said I like free fucking healthcare. Oh, these people are amazing. Oh, God. Why are you angry? We agree about 95% of things. And then this little 5% there, the genocide. What's the problem? Why are the left so uppity about genocide, really? What's a little bit of genocide between friends? Fucking... Like, honestly, you couldn't make this shit up, man. It's wild that a person would come out and say this. It's purity testing to want me to be anti-genocide. Oy, oy, oy. Spectacular. Spectacular.
Rights, public health care. None of my political...
Yeah, see, but none of my political positions have changed. I've always been pro-public healthcare, pro-public transport, pro-genocide, pro-labour rights. Whoa, what are you getting angry for? I said I was pro-labour rights. What do you mean the other thing? I didn't mean... I just said pro-healthcare. It's what? What's the problem? God, you're such purity testing woke scolds.
Views have been changed by this. I don't become a right-wing reactionary because someone on the left said something I don't like or disagree with. I don't become a right-winger because some online leftist lost the plot and think coalition building is a form of betrayal.
Can't we just do a coalition with genocide? Look, lads, come on. You don't want to do any genocide, right? And you want to do all of the genocide. Can't we come together and just do half the genocide? Oh, you're so out of order, left. Why are you so unprepared to build a coalition with the pro-genocide people? This is outrageous. Honestly, it's purity testing. Fucking Christ almighty. As if he's a grown man. Why is he saying these things? Did I ever watch it? I haven't seen it yet. It's on the kind of to-do list, which I might never get around to doing. Metatron vs Shadowverse responded to me. That's a self-indulgent slop stream content, you know, because it's like an hour long, so it would be the entire fucking stream, you know. Anyway, I'm sure he's going to explain to us why we should be, you know, doing pro-genocide content or whatever. I don't know.
And importantly, some of my strongest criticisms of the Democratic Party have come in the last 2 weeks. I don't know how many of you saw, I did this segment last week ripping the Democratic Party to shreds. It went viral. Fox News covered it. How hard am I ripping Democrats if even Fox News sees a cynical opportunity to exploit it? So...
I haven't seen this particular clip. Maybe I'll look it up. I won't. I don't care. Yeah, for me, I don't give a fuck that you've got some milquetoast bullshit criticisms of the Democratic Party. And, like, how is it that you're only just getting round to criticising the Democratic Party when they've lost to Jeffrey Epstein's best friend twice? They've lost elections to Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, who he's on camera with, and has many, many clips of him defending Jeffrey Epstein, and he's saying how good friends they were, and how they both like them very young. You lost an election to him twice, including the second time you lost the popular vote to Epstein's best mate. And you've just gotten round to criticising them in the last 2 weeks. Seems like you might have been holding back. You might have been pulling your punches up to this point. Did the checks stop arriving 2 weeks ago? What happened? Just a reminder, Mr. has me blocked from live chat during the Trump impeachment hearings while he was muting the opening prayer, and I was pointing out it was Jesuit priests. What? What are you talking about? Hey, hello Arizal or Dave in North London. How have you been? It's been a while. Or maybe it hasn't and I'm just forgetting. I don't know. Mr. Pac-Man either doesn't understand about the Jesuits or he enjoys hiding their sausage. The fuck are you talking about, you dumb cunt? Are you doing weird, like, anti-Jesuit stuff now? Who the fuck are you and why are you here to, like... I haven't heard, like, anti-Jesuit shit in years. That's a really weird one. Like, we get bigots of all kinds coming on because it's the internet, right? It's weird to have a specifically anti-Jesuit thing. Oh, you've been busy. Well, hopefully you've been a good kind of busy. I only just saw the England score, so glad I couldn't watch it where I am. Where are you? Actually, you don't have to answer that, that's fine. Kershaw looks at notes. Jesuits. Yeah, it's the Jesuits that are the problem. You know, that tiny order of, like, a few people. To be fair, it's still fairly common in the US. Is it? Is anti-Jesuit action still, like, a big thing in the US? It's a bit weird. Bit Nazi-coded, really. The Nazis were very anti-Jesuit. I've never quite understood it myself, but whatever. Oh, you're in Tampa? Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, because you look have American roots or some shit. You were telling me, yeah. You go over there quite often. Fair dues. Hopefully you're having a good time. Although, if you're in Florida, you're probably about to get some infectious diseases. So, you know. Look forward to that, I guess. Yeah, you can ban them if you want, 255, I don't mind. I mean, I'm happy to continue watching weird anti-Jesuit bullshit because, like, is anyone taken in by that? I don't think so. Also, does anyone know a Jesuit? I don't think I know anyone who's a Jesuit, to be honest. I'm seeing a band tonight. Cool. What kind of band? What musical genre are we talking about? Didn't they cancel medicine in the USA? Well, specifically in Florida, which is where, as Friends Rust, it currently is. Yes. They put an anti-vax dickhead in charge, and he was like, "Oh, we're going to get rid of all vaccine mandates." So you know, can't wait for polio to make a return in the Miami district. I'm sure, or whatever, you know.
I have not changed in terms of my views. What has changed, as I pointed out yesterday, is I no longer believe we are all part of the same movement.
You don't have a movement. The only movement you have is a bowel movement. What are you talking about? You were taking money from the Democratic Party. You're not part of a movement.
There's the governance-focused, big tent, win elections and pass laws left. That's where I am.
How many elections have you been winning? Because last time I looked, the Republicans run everything. Literally fucking everything. So how are you winning elections? You've lost elections. Again, just to point this out, your fantastic fucking coalition building, wonderful, super duper, ultra awesome left has lost to Jeffrey Epstein's best mate twice. You lost the fucking popular vote to him. More people in America went, "I'll have Jeffrey Epstein's best friend," than your brand of politics. But don't reflect on that. Just keep taking the dark money and pretending that you're the victim here, whilst defending a genocide. Jesus fucking Christ. What a loser.
And then there's this purity test left. The ones who don't really care if we lose and sometimes seem to like it so they can say, "I told you so."
No, I wish you'd listen so that we didn't have to say "I told you so." Unbelievable. Like, it's just... How can someone lose so many elections and yet still claim to be like, oh, we're the ones that are winning elections? Motherfucker.
As long as they feel morally untainted. They treat compromise as corruption.
No, I treat you taking dark money without telling people as corruption, because it is.
Think we need a better media ecosystem must mean install CIA-approved thought leaders or something like that. So maybe we were never really part of the same movement. If I've been
Yeah, we never were. No, that is true.
Red-pilled about anything, maybe it's that. We overlapped when convenient, and that was it. But
yeah.
I'm not getting red-pilled. I'm done pretending that everyone with a left-wing label is on the same page. You can stand for progress.
Why did you ever think they were? What?
In a lot of different ways.
It's so revealing that this guy who's been involved in politics for so long had such a pathetically poor grasp of the space he occupied.
You can want change without torching everyone who's only 98% on your side.
Oh, I'd see why you've got to focus on the 2% genocide. Oh. Purity testing. I said I like the public option. I'm pro trade union. Why can't you just ignore the genocide thing? It's not that big a deal, really. When you don't think about it because you're being paid not to think about it.
But no, I am not having a political awakening. I am not the next Dave Rubin. None of that is happening.
Cool. I'm going to bed. Fucking Christ. That is fucking dreadful. What a knob. Honestly. Oh. But at least now he knows he's not like on the same page as everyone on the left who apparently... Like, when the right were saying that, oh, the left's in an echo chamber, did he think, oh, that's true, no, we do all believe the same thing? Really? Because, like, that's what he sort of seems to be insinuating there, which... Again... Like, I don't believe him. I don't believe him. Anyway. Let's see who's going on the YouTubes. Oh, no, Justice is going. Jesus Christ, that's a bit late. It's a bit fucking late, gal. What you doing? Okay, well, I might as well go over to No Justice on the Twitch as well, then. Fuck it. Fuck it. Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow at some point. I might do a football stream early and then do the No Justice thing, or I might just do the regular normal stream. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'll see how I feel. My voice is getting a bit croaky. I've streamed for a long time tonight. Anyway. Yes. Everyone go and say hello to No Justice. Thank you everyone for your support. Don't forget to go and follow the sports channels if you haven't already.